Hey friends, today we are going to read from one of our favorite book series, Junie B. Jones. And the book that we're going to be reading is called Junie B. Jones is Not a Crook. And of course our author and illustrator is Barbara Park. Junie B. Jones is special for us because we always read it before we go home at the end of the day. So I'm so excited to read to you some of these books at home because I know I miss reading them and hearing you laugh while we settle down for nap and to get ready to go home. So we are going to read this book today, and we're going to focus on characters. Now remember that characters are the people or the animals that the story is about. So think real quick because we already know a lot of these characters. Are they animals or are they people? They're people, that's right. So we have Junie B. Junie B is our main character. What do we know about Junie B? She's a little bit sassy. She's a little bit of a wild child. She likes to have her own ideas and do what she wants to do. She's a little bit bossy. Junie B is a good, nice girl on the inside, right? But she just doesn't always quite show it on the outside, or she doesn't know how to show it on the outside. Sometimes she gets herself in trouble because she has a big mouth and she says things that she shouldn't say, or she should think before she says, right? So Lucille, since she's the richest girl in Junie B's class, she is very friendly, but she's conceited. Remember, that means she thinks it's all about her. And when she doesn't get her way, she is sad. So that's not really a good thing, right? We want to make sure that we get our way, but we also do things the way our friends want to do things. And Lucille is not very well known for that. Now, the other best friend that Junie B has is that Grace. And that Grace is genuinely just a nice girl, right? She is an athlete. She likes to play sports. She runs really fast, but she doesn't brag about it. So that is a good thing that friends do. They can be proud of themselves, but they don't brag. Mrs. is the teacher, right? And Mrs. has to be hard on the kids sometimes because they're not doing the right thing. Like, she has to tell Junie B to sit down. And Junie B listens, but Mrs. also loves these kids. It's kind of like Miss Lisa and I in the classroom. Sometimes we have to tell you things and be a little bit stern, but in our hearts, we love you more than anything in the world. Grandpa Frank Miller is Junie B's grandfather, and he is really laid back. He likes to hang out and play games, but he gets more serious when Junie B gets in trouble and he gets upset. So he likes to play with Junie B, and he likes to be the fun grandpa. And he usually ends up giving Junie B everything that she wants. So let's see what happens in our story. We're going to pay attention to the characters and what they do, and we're going to think about how they are alike and how they are different in our story. All right, so let's start reading. Our book again is called Junie B. Jones is Not a Crook. By the picture, I wonder if Junie B is going to go to jail. Uh-oh. Chapter 1. No Good Reason. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice. Except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. Here is a story for you. It is called, Once Upon a Time, my grandfather named Frank Miller went to the store and he bought me some mittens. Once upon a time, my grandfather named Frank Miller went to the store and he bought me some mittens. They are made of black, furry fur. And guess what? It was not even my birthday, or Christmas, or Valentine's Day. Plus, the mittens were not even on sale. Grandpa Miller just bought them for no good reason. And that is the bestest reason I ever even heard of. That's how come I love that guy very much. Plus also, he can skip. The end. I like that story a real lot. Because guess why? I didn't even make it up, that's why. That adventure actually happened to me. My Grandpa Miller really did buy me mittens for no good reason. And they are gorgeous, I tell you. When I first opened them, I got filled with glee. Glee is when you run, and jump, and skip, and laugh, and clap, and dance on top of the dining room table. Then your mother takes you down from the table and she carries you to your room for a timeout. Timeouts kill the glee. I wore my new mittens the whole entire morning. Plus also, I wore them to afternoon kindergarten. I wore them with my attractive winter jacket. Only it was actually not cold outside. Who even cares? Because that outfit looked very beautiful together. I showed my mittens to my bestest friend named Grace. Also, I showed them to a variety of strangers. After I got to school, I held my hands over my head, and I runned all over the playground. Look, everybody! Look at my new mittens! My Grandpa Frank Miller bought them for me for no good reason. I waved them all around high in the air. How many children see these lovely things? Raise your hands, I hollered. Nobody raised their hands. How many children think these mittens are gorgeous? Please come forward, I yelled. Nobody came forward. I put my hands back down and I walked to that Grace. I couldn't create any interest, I said. Only guess what? Just then I spotted my other bestest friend named Lucille. I ran my fastest to greet her. Lucille, Lucille, look at my gorgeous new mittens. See them? They are made out of black furry fur. Lucille petted them. My family has lots of fur, she said. My mother has a fur cape, and my aunt has a fur jacket, and my uncle has a fur hat. Plus my Nana just bought a brand new mink coat, only she can't wear it outside the house or else people will throw paint on her. My mouth came all the way open. Why, Lucille? Why will people throw paint on your Nana? I asked. Lucille crossed her arms. Don't you know anything, Junie B. Jones? It's because people who love furry animals don't like them being made into coats for Nanas. Just then I felt relief in me. 'Cause I'm not even a Nana, that's why. And besides, my mittens aren't even made out of real furry animals. They are made of fake furry animals, and those kind don't even count. All of a sudden, the bell rang for school. I zoomed to my room like a speeding rocket, 'cause guess why? More people to show my mittens to, that's why. I showed my mittens to my teacher. Her name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs., and that's all. Feel them, Mrs., I said. Feel how soft they are. I rubbed them on her face. Ooh, they are soft, Junie B. Be sure to put them in your jacket pocket so they don't get lost, okay? I skipped very happy to my seat. Yeah, only I'm not even going to lose them, I said just to myself. I'm going to wear them right on my hands the whole livelong day, 'cause I love these guys, that's why. I took off my attractive winter jacket and sat down at my table. Then I tapped on Lucille with my furry mittens. Hello, how are you today? I have fur hands. See them, Lucille? See my hands of fur? I flew them in the air. This is what fur hands look like when they're flying in the air, I said. I waved hello. This is what fur hands look like when you're waving hello, I said. Lucille did a frown. You're being annoying, she said. That's how come I turned around. And I smiled at a boy named William. I have fur hands, William. See them? See my fur hands? I tapped on his head. This is what fur hands look like when you're tapping on your head, I said. Just then, I got up from my chair and I skipped to my boyfriend named Ricardo. I tickled him under the chin with my softy hands of fur. This is what fur hands look like when you're tickling under your chin, I said. Then I grinned and I grinned, 'cause that boy, he brings out the best in me, that's why. Pretty soon, Mrs. saw me out of my seat. She held my hand and she marched me back to my table. This is how fur hands look when they're marching back to my table, I said. Mrs. plopped me in my chair. Then she pulled off my fur hands and she put them on her desk. I did a sad sigh. This is how fur hands look when they're no longer in my possession, I whispered just to myself. After that, I put my head on my desk and I covered up with my arms, and I didn't come out for a real long time. Chapter 3, Bean Brownie. Mrs. said that I could have my mittens back at recess. I stared and I stared at the clock. Then I tapped my fingers on the table, and I did loud breaths. Lucille tattletaled on me. Junie B keeps tapping her fingers and making loud breaths, and I can't even concentrate on my work, she grouched. Mrs. came to my table. Hello, how are you today? I said, kind of nervous. I'm fine, except I don't actually have my mittens. She tapped her foot real fast. That was not a good sign, I think. Only guess what? Just then, the bell rang for recess. Oh boy, I yelled. Oh boy, 'cause now I can have my mittens back. Right, missus? Right? I zoomed to her desk and I put them on my hands. Then I rubbed those softy things all over my cheeks. It's good to be with you again, I whispered into their fur. After that, I put on my attractive winter jacket and I skipped outside with my friends. Me and Tattletale Lucille and that Grace play horses together at recess. I am Brownie, Lucille is Blackie, and that Grace is Yellowy. I'm Yellowy, shouted that Grace. I'm Blackie, shouted Lucille. I'm Brownie, I shouted. Only just then, I looked at my mittens, and I did a frown. Because there was a little bit of a problem here, I think. Yeah, only how can I even be Brownie because my horse paws are black? And so I am two different colors, apparently. Lucille and that Grace did frowns, too. Said that Grace. Said Lucille. I said. Just then that Grace clapped her hands together, very excited. I know, Junie B. Today, you and Lucille can trade. Today, Lucille can be Brownie. You can be Blackie. And so that way your horse paws will be the right color. Me and Lucille looked and looked at that girl, 'cause what kind of crazy idea was that? I did a huffy breath. Yeah, only how can I even be Blackie when I'm already Brownie, Grace? I have been Brownie for my whole entire career. You can't just go changing, you know? Yeah, Grace, you can't just go changing, said Lucille. That Grace looked embarrassed at herself. Oh, yeah, what was I thinking? She said, very mumbling. After that, all of us sat down in the grass, and we tapped our chins. We thinked, and we thinked, and we thinked. Then, all of a sudden, my whole face lighted up. Hey, I thought of it! I thought of it! I know exactly what I'll do, I shouted. I jumped up. Start again, Grace. Say your name again. Say that you are Yellowy. That Grace looked curious at me. I'm Yellowy, she said. I pointed to Lucille. I'm Blackie, she said next. I spinned around real joyful. I'm Brownie, she said. Only guess what? Yesterday, my Grandpa Brownie bought me black furry mittens, and so that is how come I am two different colors, apparently. After that, all of us did high fives, and we started playing horses. We galloped and trotted and snorted and snuffled. Only too bad for me, 'cause the sun kept on beating down on my horse head, and I got drippity inside of my attractive winter jacket. I'm going to die from heat perspiration, I said. That's how come I trotted over to a tree, and I took off all of my stuff. First, I took off my attractive winter jacket. Then, I took off my furry black mittens, and I piled them in a very careful pile. After that, I galloped away to find my horse friends, and we played and played. Pretty soon, Mrs. blew her loud whistle. That means the end of recess. Coming, shouted Yellowy. Coming, shouted Blackie. Coming, I shouted. Then I hurried back up to the tree to get my stuff. Only guess what? I saw something very, very terrible there. That's what. And it's called, Hey! Somebody stole my mittens! All right, we're going to stop right there. So what do you think about the characters so far? They're funny, aren't they? There's a lot of similarities and differences in their personalities. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick one of your favorite characters, and I want you to draw a picture of something that they did in the story that made you smile. So think about the characters, pick one, anyone you want to, and draw a beautiful picture to upload to Class Tag for me. I can't wait to see them. Bye, guys.